I brought Pearl her breakfast a little bit too
okay,
early
girl?
this morning. I caught her in a very
You're
deep
really
sleep.
sleeping.
This old girl seemed a little bit extra stiff this morning, but I've got tons of stuff to do today and a vet appointment for Prim later on, so I better get going with all of my morning chores.
Stiff. Yeah, okay, girl. Okay.
I've been keeping a little bit of a secret from you guys, and today I will actually get to spill the beans. This was a really complicated decision for me, but after I'm done getting all of the horses turned out for this morning, I'm gonna let you in on our little secret.
Okay, buddy. Let's go.
I'm trying really hard not to get my hopes up, but this morning when I walked Studman past Prim's pen, she was acting like a completely normal horse, which is a very good sign.
What are you doing? What are you doing? You're crazy. Come on. Come on. Come on, Tiny. See?
You guys know I've been struggling for a while now what to do with Prim. My original plan when I bought her was to get her started under saddle and then move her on to her new home. Unfortunately, she is the type of horse that experiences a very serious heat cycle. The last few springs, it has been so terrible that she actually will make herself lame by throwing herself against the walls and kicking the panels. Typically, Prim would come over to the fence and kick at the walls just with Goose walking past. I've tried multiple different supplements to help her, also some hormone therapy, and nothing really seems to help. Earlier this spring, I did have the vet out again for another ultrasound just to make sure she didn't have anything crazy going on. Prim has had multiple diagnostic ultrasounds done over the years just to make sure she doesn't have any cysts or tumors. Every vet appointment I take her, they come up clean, so there's no physical reason why she should be having such a hard time. Every year, my vet jokes with me that she is a prime candidate for actually having babies, but you guys know that I don't like to make more horses when there's so many that need homes. Every spring, when it gets really bad for Prim, I do toss around the idea of breeding her. The last 2 springs, I went so far as to purchase some stallion contracts for her that I ended up not using. But around 2 weeks ago, when she was really, really bad, I took her to a reproduction specialist in the area to have another look at her. I made sure to time it right so I could take her right when she was about to ovulate, just to make sure she didn't have a persistent follicle or something that was causing her pain. With her being so aggressive around her heat cycles, it is very easy to tell exactly when everything is happening, and I just happened to bring her in the day before she was set to ovulate. With another perfect repro exam and a clean bill of health, I got to thinking that perhaps it was time we try a different route. While I do love all of my auction ponies and their quirks, it would be really nice to have a thoughtfully bred colt for me to replace Frisco Bill with. At this point, he is pretty much retired. I haven't ridden him in over a year because he just doesn't enjoy it anymore. There was a time when I thought Stewie would be the perfect replacement, but he hasn't grown as tall as I'd like, and there's a few things that he's not going to be able to do. If Whiplash had still been a stud when I bought Prim, she definitely would be a perfect candidate to make a baby with him. Making more horses is something that I take very seriously, and if I do decide to breed Prim, I'm going to make sure that her offspring is going to be better than her. Prim is a registered foundation bred quarter horse. Besides, when she's in heat, she has an excellent temperament and she is really trainable. Every year around this time, I call up a few of my friends that do breed a lot of horses, and they all think that I should just let her have a baby, and that could possibly help her. At this point, the only 2 things that we haven't tried to help alleviate her discomfort are allowing her to get bred and then also spaying her, which is something I really don't want to do. After a lot of thought, I finally decided that this year we are going to try and get Prim bred. I went back and forth about the perfect sire for this new colt, and ultimately I decided that one of my friend's studs who has frozen semen very close by would be a perfect match for Prim. There are lots of different ways to get horses bred these days, but I decided to have Prim artificially inseminated with frozen semen, which might be a little bit tricky because she is a maiden mare. These are his actual swimmers and they look really good for being frozen. Hopefully we'll be able to get at least one of these little guys to get the job done. Breeding with frozen semen is a little bit tricky because you have a window that is only a few hours. Using cooled fresh semen, you do have a bigger window, and then naturally breeding, there are some benefits, but I like Prim too much to think about her possibly getting hurt while being bred. The first parts of getting her bred were a textbook. She ovulated when she was supposed to. We put all of the little swimmers where they were supposed to go. So now I am just waiting for the recheck to see if she is actually bred. Big Gus has taken over the Frisco Bill babysitting duties. He is now in Prim's old stall. These 2 boys do know each other, and Big Gus is pretty chill. He seems to be doing a lot better now that he doesn't have access to grass for hours and hours. After about a week inside, it looks like his muscles are doing much better. For anyone that doesn't know, Gus does have PSSM 2. It is a very tricky disease to manage, but basically he does get treated like a metabolic horse on a very low starch diet. I do have some smaller pastures I'm getting ready for Gus. The grass is getting quite tall and it looks like they are just about ready to seed, and that should be the perfect time to put him out on it. He will still probably only be able to go out for an hour or 2, and him and Frisco Bill can become better acquainted out in the pasture.
Okay, come on, buddy.
As usual, Tiny is making sure I stay on track for the day. The time is winding down and it's only about an hour until I have to be over to the vet for Prim's check.
Come on, Gussie.
One of the main reasons I decided not to breed Prim in previous years is because I was buying too many horses at auction. To have a newly pregnant mare exposed to some of the nasty things that do come with auction horses is too high risk for me. I did promise myself that I would not buy any more horses until we did secure a property. While getting Prim bred will eventually result in a new horse, it will be a lot easier to move her than her and another high-risk auction horse. Another one of the reasons that I decided to go ahead and try and get Prim bred this year is that Nigel was trying much harder than he has in the past to get in with her. I went away on a very short trip this summer, and when I got back, he was in with her trying to breed her. He did it 2 more times after that, and it was just getting too risky for me to leave those 2 close, which is why she's been in the round pen. Nigel is the only stallion on the property, and while it looks like the whole physics of this situation would not work, I have seen miniature horses breed full-size horses. It would be kind of cool to have a baby from the resulting breeding, but it is definitely not responsible on my part. The stallion that I did pick out for Prim is proven in the show ring. Since I've waited so long to breed Prim, he does have quite a few offspring on the ground, so you can see exactly what kind of horse he's producing. I'm not too concerned about the potential value of the colt because this will be one that I will be keeping for myself, but it is worth mentioning that colts by this sire are selling for a decent amount of money, even out of mares that are unproven. If she comes up bred, I'll essentially be getting around a $12,000 colt for a fraction of the price. With about 45 minutes left until I need to get Prim to the vet, I'm going to run over to Pearl's pen and refresh her giant hay pile.
Hey, girlie. Here they go.
An update on Scarlet and Ziggy. They have been doing fabulous out on the pasture. Scarlet has not tested the fence at all. I'm a little bit nervous with 4th of July coming up, but they'll probably stay in their dry lot for that. When we did breed Prim, my vet reminded me that because she is a maiden mare and we are using frozen semen, that the chances of her getting bred on the first try are a little bit less. I have, however, noticed in the last couple of days that she has really calmed down and is not searching constantly for another horse. I'm trying really hard not to get my hopes up, but it would be really nice to have a little foal around here.
Come here, girls. Hey, mare. How with your poops?
Someone asked me in another video if I thought Pearl was missing having babies, and I think she's had enough that she is finally ready for a break. She is looking so much more fit and trim. She doesn't have that big giant belly she had when I bought her, and her condition is looking really good for a horse her age. Since she's been on her PPID medication, I actually have not noticed her coming into heat at all, so it was very surprising to find out that she did have a colt just last year. In addition to her giant hay pile, this girl does get fed 6 pounds of senior feed twice a day, so I do see her every single day, several times a day. She's got Emily, the neighbor's horse, to keep her company, and hopefully when we move I can get together a little herd of old retired horses. I do think now that Frisco Bill is learning to be without his precious Prim that he might enjoy the company of an older gal like Pearl. They both have very similar nutritional needs. They are both on PPID medication, and they are both getting some anti-inflammatories every day.
Girl. Okay, girl.
It took me a little bit longer than I had expected to get Pearl situated with her new hay pile, so I had to hurry home and get Prim loaded up so we could head out to the vet and see if we actually were successful on our first try. After getting a little bit of positive reinforcement in the stocks, we were able to see that on the very first breeding, we were able to get Prim in foal. We've got another 2 weeks to wait until the heartbeat check, but it's looking like we are going to have a baby here in 2026. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for our next adventure.